Alright, kings, gentlemen, everyone else, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Beautiful Sunny Day by the Riverside, a sunny stroll. And today we're going to talk about American-European relations, because, it's in the news and everything. So, you may have noticed that the shit show in the White House has shaken European-American relations. The Orange Man and the couch fucker ambushed President Zelensky, and I think they had actually planned this. They had planned to backstab Ukraine and betray Europe for a long time, and this is because Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, they are authoritarians. They want to turn America into an oligarchical shithole, just like Russia, and are ideologically aligned with the authoritarian shitholes of the world, with the Russias, with the North Koreas, with the Chinas, with all of the nasty places which, and it looks like Trump is about to rescue Russia for the fifth time in its history. For the fifth time in its history, Russia is going to be rescued from certain death by an Anglo-American power, and it's becoming depressingly common now. And Russia is a historical error. It should have been destroyed a long time ago. It's an unnatural state, and it looks like it's the Americans are going to save it right now. Well, I say Americans, but I should really say Donald Trump and the Magas. And this is what this video is going to be about, essentially, that we're going to see a lot of anti-American sentiment in Europe. This is inevitable because, but I would say we need to direct this sentiment to not be anti-American, but to be anti-Trump and anti-Maga. For one very important reason. Trump is an authoritarian, oligarchical demagogue. He's a populist demagogue. And these people, what they do is, it's very insidious. What they do is that they equate themselves to the country. We had one of these authoritarian demagogues here in Macedonia. His name was Nikola Gruevski. You don't have to remember that, but essentially during his reign, which was between 2006 and 2017, the way that his media machine would spin things is that any criticism of Gruevski is betrayal, it's treason to the country, it's unpatriotic. So essentially, if you are against his blatant corruption, his destruction of our capital city's inner core and turning it into a circus, which you may have seen on some of these videos. They're too embarrassing. This is why I don't walk around the what we call the strict city center. This is why I only really walk the back streets and parks. I can't bear to look at the ugly fucking bullshit he planted in our city. All of the graft, all of the oligarchical bullshit, all of his crimes, all of his this subjugation of Macedonia to Chinese moneylenders, right? Everything, if you criticized any of that, if you criticized his disastrous personnel policy, you're unpatriotic. You are a traitor to Macedonia, you're a traitor to that. Viktor Orban does something very similar in Hungary. Essentially, he's spinning that any form of criticism of Orban and his party, Fidesz, is in effect betrayal of Hungary. They are Hungary. They're what they're saying. So you cannot be a patriotic Hungarian unless you bow down to King Orban. That's how they spin it. That's how they do it in Putin. You can't be in Russia. You can't be a patriotic Russian unless you bow down to the Tsar. And that's how they're trying to present it right now. Unless you are mouth-breathing, pants-on-hand, retarded MAGA slave, to Donald Trump, then you're just unpatriotic. I was arguing with one of these retarded MAGA people. Well, I'm using that term provisionally. People, I mean. And he just said, you're anti-American, you hate America. I'm like, no. If I hated America, I would have been a Donald Trump supporter. Because Donald Trump is going to destroy America. He is actively destroying it as we speak. America is now a joke. It's a laughingstock. It's losing all of its allies. It's about to lose its economic primacy in the world because Orange Man is too retarded to understand. Like, refer to the old video on this channel where I talk about how these people, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, they have no idea what governance is. They don't know how to govern a country because they believe stupid libertarian bullshit about the economy, about government and everything. So if I really hated America and wanted to destroy it, I would be the biggest MAGA tard on the planet, because MAGA is the death of America. MAGA is what's going to destroy that country. But they're spinning it as any criticism of MAGA, any criticism of Trump is anti-American. The only reason you could possibly dislike Donald Trump is because you hate America. We must not fall into that trap. Donald Trump is not America. Donald Trump is of America, and he does represent some of the nastier aspects of that culture. And the MAGA movement is indeed a movement of resentful, low IQ people who hate their betters, by which I mean people of normal and above intelligence. But these people are not America. America is a land of intelligent, insightful people. I mean, you don't get to be the world hegemon without having something going on, you know. And now Donald Trump is destroying that. The MAGA cacistocracy is destroying that. So, this is really more about rhetoric than anything else. When we criticize Trump, as Europeans, especially as Europeans, this must not come from a place of hate for America. I understand it's very easy to give in to the temptation that Americans were always like that. No, Americans were not always like that. In fact, I would say that before the 80s, before the 70s and 80s, before the conservative evangelical brainwashing machine really took off, Americans were a lot more like us than either us or Americans are willing to admit. I think that Europeans like to pretend that we were always better and more civilized than Americans, but no, all up until the mid-70s, I would say, we were the same civilization, and then the Americans started sort of drifting off into this la-la land of which is really just the product of conservatism and libertarianism as uniquely toxic ideologies, not native to Europe, brought over by certain transient people. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is an important point. When we criticize MAGA, when we attack Donald Trump, it must not come from a place of hatred of America. It must even come from a place of love for America. And believe you me, people, I love America. I love the idea of America. I wouldn't want to live there because, well, it's the American way of life. But if you think about what America was before the 70s, and especially before the 50s, before the whole car-centric culture took off, yeah, this is the kind of country that I could have lived in. Yeah, you could say. Now, it's been completely hollowed out, I would say, but there is still hope for restoration. There is still hope for a return of America to the European fold, because that's the ultimate goal, I think, of the MAGA people, is to sever America from the European, from the Western civilizational body, and turn it into one of these rogue anti-European states like Russia, just like the Mongols did with the Muscovites, sort of turn them against their own kin, against their own civilization. And this is what's really at risk of happening in America with this sort of pernicious MAGA influence, because MAGA is anti-cultural poison, just hollows out. And it is really only the final form of this very old ideology of, I guess you could only really call it worship of capital and worship of capitalists. Right, this idea that only the man who makes money contributes to civilization, that money is civilization. Well, I'm sorry, civilization is a lot more than money, and in fact, money is one of the more vulgar aspects of living. It's like a sewer, you know. We need it, but we shouldn't talk about it, and we should definitely not glorify it. That's my attitude towards money. Well, the opposite attitude is now prevalent in America. And so I'm not going to be an enemy of America. I'm going to frame myself as someone who is going to lay the groundwork for Europe to come and rescue America from the hell which has been inflicted upon it with the MAGA administration. Well, it might sound ambitious, but it's from humble beginnings that great victories are made. So, good night, folks, or actually I should say good day. It is a beautiful day, and see you next time.